Hey y'all, it's West Virginia History with Mrs. B, and we are coming to you from West Virginia Wesleyan College in Buckhannon, West Virginia, which is in Upshur County. And this is our second video of our series, and it's all about the Annie Merner Pfeiffer Library, which is behind me. Our first episode is about the older parts of campus. This second video, of course, is about the library. Our third video is going to be about the newer buildings on campus, and then video number 4 will be a special video about Wesley Chapel. I hope you'll catch us and tune in for all 4 videos. Hey y'all, it's West Virginia History with Mrs. B coming to you from Buckhannon, West Virginia, the home of West Virginia Wesleyan College. We've had a lot of requests to do a college history tour, and I thought I need to start with my alma mater, of the mountains, West Virginia Wesleyan. And so thankfully I know a lot of people here, including this wonderful woman who is joining us, who I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Paula McGrew. I'm a retired professor from West Virginia Wesleyan. I was the library director for 10 years, and then now I'm the college historian. So this is kind of what Adina has had in mind. Yeah. And I'm also an alum, as are my mother, my dad, my grandfather, my 2 children, and 1 niece. So I'm not, too connected.
Oh no, not at all. And she teaches a West Virginia Wesleyan history class here on campus. And side note, I've known Paula for over 20 years because her son, Steve, was one of my friends in college. So she is a wonderful resource, and she's going to teach us all about West Virginia Wesleyan's history as we go around campus today. Hey y'all, we are now standing in front of the Annie Merner Pfeiffer Library here at West Virginia Wesleyan College. And it has just undergone a huge remodel, which I have not seen, so you're going to get to see my reactions for the first time. So we're going to take you in because the library, of course, is open on Sundays, and if you're a Wesleyan student, you practically live in the library. I mean, I can remember many a night getting kicked out at midnight because I was still working.
You don't have to do that. So.
It's 24 hours? That is amazing. So we're going to go in and we're going to go see it. I have not seen it yet, so.
I said the middle part of this was built in the 50s, and then in the 70s a wraparound addition to make it a little bit bigger.
That makes sense. So was this a Martin, Stanley Martin?
Yes. Well, yeah. It was during that time. Annie Merner Pfeiffer never actually was here. She was a philanthropist from New York who wanted to give money to a Methodist institution. So yay!
We'll take your money. We're
so
open.
Many other schools also have Pfeiffer things.
Really? That's so interesting. Yeah, I never knew that. But we're going to go see the remodel so you all can see it with us. And
okay. It's very new. It's very different from what you remember. So get ready. Are you ready?
I'm not ready, but we're going to go do it anyway.
Okay.
So come on in. Hey, we are now inside the library, and I'm over my initial shock that there aren't stairs when you come through this door. And so it is definitely, this is so totally different here, because there used to be a big circulation desk that sat here, and then this whole thing in the middle was filled with magazines and newspapers and journals, and they're all gone. So it's totally different in here. So Paula, tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, well this is the library for the modern day students with the kinds of things that they need, more so than maybe some of the other things. We still have all those journals, but most of them are electronic now.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to have as many stacks.
Oh, do you remember? I remember because I worked here, climbing up into those stacks to get journals. Oh my gosh.
So, this back door that you see back here was not there before.
Right.
So that is completely new.
Right, and so it made it handicap accessible, ADA accessible.
Yeah, so it's all accessible. There are some student workrooms, little study rooms that have technology and whiteboards and such things in there, so they can just go in and do that. As we walk through this way, I think probably just would be as easy, and I can show you some of those.
Yeah.
Obviously the furniture is way different.
Look how cool this is. Yes. Very fancy. Yeah. I love it. Oh, there's the bobcat moved.
There's the bobcat.
He moves. He used to hide out in
he's a sneaky one. He gets around.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been in the administration building and all kinds of places. Oh wow,
That's a little mini mark back.
okay. So
Self-serve.
I'm gonna tell my age. Like we used to go right around this corner, and we would rent movies from the library for the weekends, and they were on VHS tapes.
Yes.
I am that old. So
You're
that is-
VHS old.
I am VHS old. Yes.
Those are some of the rooms. There are more of them upstairs.
That is awesome.
The students can go in.
That's
This is
fantastic.
actually a model of how Stanley Martin envisioned the campus.
Yes, which is why they took out the oval down here. Well, this oval.
So here's the chapel,
Right.
And you'll see that in his model he did have a fountain there.
Right, and the
So it's there now.
Yeah, and so the parking was taken out from when I was
They
a
also
student.
had an equestrian center and a whole bunch of other stuff that is not here, but an amphitheater. Which I wish they had done that. That would've
Oh
been cool.
yeah, that
Maybe
would be-
someday.
This is fantastic.
So people like to look at that and then kind of look around where we've just been.
That we've accomplished some of it.
Yeah,
just
some
not-
of it is still happening.
Yes.
So all the library offices are now back in that section behind the desk.
Oh.
And yeah, it's very different. It's very different.
It is very
I
different. I'm
suspect you
getting
might
used
like to
it.
go upstairs and see what it's like up there.
Yeah.
And it is a quieter floor, so I'll just kind of point and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
quiet part.
I definitely.
Then we'll come back down and go out the weird door. To me, it's odd to see
Yeah.
this door, but it's
Yeah, but I get why
but it's
it's
kind of
there.
cool. It is actually.
It is
You
very
get used to
nice.
it.
Yeah. There needed to be a door there.
There did a long time ago.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna go upstairs. I definitely want to go see upstairs. So before we go upstairs, we wanted to show you. This is the archive room. This used to be upstairs, and now it's down here. And so the West Virginia Wesleyan Library has a wonderful collection of Lincoln artifacts. Thank you, alumni. So we are looking. This is a death. This is a death mask.
His life mask.
Life mask. Okay. So that's a life mask of Abraham Lincoln.
So we have that, and then there are hundreds and hundreds of books. They're not all in this area right now, but some of them are in retractable shelving that you really can't see them, but they're
Right.
some are in it. Charles Aubrey Jones was one of our alums, and he was the editor of the very first Member Montes yearbook.
Really?
And when he grew up and graduated, he then became an assistant to an Ohio senator or congressman, and he was in D.C. not that long after. I mean, it was only like 30 years after Lincoln had been.
Okay.
And so he became really fascinated, and his whole life he collected everything Lincoln, and he said he wanted to have it here. And he had 3 children. 2 of them wanted to sell it because they thought there would be a lot of money in it.
Right.
The one daughter said no. Daddy said it goes to Wesleyan, and so she eventually bought her brother and sister out and brought it all here.
Oh my
So
goodness.
thank you, Betty.
Oh, for sure.
I met her. She's wonderful.
Oh,
She's a wonderful lady.
Another collection we probably should definitely mention that the Wesleyan Library holds is the Pearl Buck collection.
Well, the Pearl Buck collection is no longer here.
It's at WVU.
It's at WVU now.
But they're working
We
with WVU.
We work with them. We had it here for a long time. They had a better storage facility,
Right.
and so we felt that was probably the better place. For
Right, but she from the very beginning wanted it to be here, wanted to make sure it was preserved, and so you guys are still working with.
We're still working with them.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yes.
So if you don't know, Pearl Buck, she's the first American woman in history to win the Pulitzer and the Nobel Prize for Literature, and she grew up, well, she didn't grow up in West Virginia, but she was born in West Virginia. Her parents were Chinese missionaries, and they were originally from Buckhannon County, and so her entire works and collections were left to West Virginia Wesleyan, and so the college is sharing those collections with WVU and working with them to preserve those archives.
Yeah. And while we're talking collections, I will just mention our Civil War collection is really, 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 really strong. Again,
Nice.
because an alum donated about everything that was published about the Civil War. In fact, at one point we had an interlibrary loan request from the University of Virginia for one of our books. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, especially because they have one of the preeminent.
They're at the University of Virginia.
I mean, yeah. Gallagher down there at UVA, he's like the preeminent Civil War scholar.
So we have things here they don't have. So
that's so fantastic.
That was cool.
That's really cool. All right. So we're in one of the upstairs huddle rooms and just getting to see it. So they have the clear boards that the kids can write on. They have this wipe-off board. They also have the TV. And so, Paula, look, this is very different than what the library used to be like.
It used to be there were tables all over the place, and people would be kind of all out in the middle of the place talking together. And some of that still goes on in some of the areas, but also there's a place now, and there are many of these. I don't know how many there are. There's like at least 10, maybe more. I don't know how many, but they have time to come in here and do group work on projects, or you can come in by yourself and just be there, work on things, and they can write on the board, do all their math problems and their chemistry things, and it's kind of scary when I look at some of that stuff. That was never my thing.
Right. So. Oh, ditto.
But no, they have this thing, and you can get a cord, HDMI cord downstairs at the desk.
Okay.
And then plug in your computer and have that up there to show everyone. And
well, that's really nice. Yeah. I would have loved that. I mean, I'm so old that we had to check out the wireless cards to stick into our IBM ThinkPads. That's how old I am. So we are ancient. But, I think this is fantastic for kids if you want to come and work on group work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and now that the library is 24 hours a day.
So they have on the back door where we'll go out here in a little bit. I call it the back door. They just call it the door.
The door.
But they have their card, and they can just let themselves in.
That is so cool. So that's really nice, because we always knew we had to be done by midnight.
Oh, I can't tell you how many. And like I said, I've been retired 6 years now, and all this has happened ever since before that. That was during that time.
Right.
But then we had to have people go around and tell people, get everything packed up and go out and lock the doors and turn out all the lights. And that was a lot of cajoling.
Oh, absolutely.
How's that for a word?
That's a nice way to put it. Well, and one thing that is different than a lot of colleges, everybody lives on campus. This is the heart of studying on campus. Everybody has their places, and most people, this was their place to come and study. So it's nice that it's 24 hours, because you can
talk about the third place. This was the third place for a lot of people. It wasn't home in their dorm room. It wasn't the classroom where they were, but it was here.
Oh.
I think a lot of the learning happens. Oh. Because that's where you're doing the exploring and the polishing.
Absolutely. I mean, I lived in the library. It was every night. I had my schedule after classes was, I had concert chorale practice, then we ate dinner, then we came here, and we were usually here till closing time. Yeah. Most nights.
So, and then out here, there's other tables, some comfortable seating. You can see some little pods where you can kind of just go in and have a little bit of a time
to work by yourself. Yeah.
It's comfortable.
It is nice.
My granddaughters like to come up and be here with me. Maybe we can come up here and do that kind of thing.
It's very nice. So this is part of Paula's handiwork. She made this. It's a timeline of all the buildings at West Virginia Wesleyan College. So from the Welcome Center all the way back to the original seminary building. And as you can see, the 50s and 60s were...
60s were huge.
Yeah.
Which we're about to see.
It's where we're headed. It's amazing. Yeah. So 50s and 60s were big time for...
And these are some of the people that some of the buildings are named for.
Yes. I lived in Jenkins.
Yep.
So...
Now, Paula, how long did it take you to come up with all the information to make this?
Well, my dad and I worked on it together because he did all the printing and such. He has equipment at his house. And I think it took us about 2 weeks I've been working on the history of the college for 20 years, but to get this, to get it small enough to fit in one of these little places because there's a lot that could be said beyond what's on there.
Right, to be concise and every word matters.
Yeah. But the Internet Archive, I have these up there on there, so if you would like to go out, and you can put the link at the bottom in the comments. If you
Will
want.
too. We definitely will. We will share that so people can access it.
Yeah.
Since I think we're going to be the first Wesleyan history video on the internet, so
Good
that's
for
going to be
us.
good for us. So, you know, for people that are alumni of the college or have connections to the college or have connections to the United Methodist Church, or they're looking to send their kids here, they can learn some of the history.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, this is cool, Paula. I really appreciate you sharing this with us.
Yeah, I really was happy they asked me to do it, because,
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
and I know how it's, you can feel me, because I'll wait till you. I know how it is. This will be here for a while.
Yeah.
When things get on bulletin boards, sometimes it takes a while before they get replaced.
That's
So-
okay. We can leave this one up here. I think that's a very good thing because the kids all see it as they're coming upstairs.
Well, and also faculty and other people going to meetings in the conference rooms upstairs.
That's
Also.
fantastic. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this.
Sure. So I'm ready to go.
Thanks y'all for tuning in and joining us here at West Virginia Wesleyan College in Buckhannon, West Virginia. Please tune in next week to catch another episode of West Virginia History with Mrs. B.